Welcome back once again to the Imaginary Gallery. It's TJ. Tonight's topic will be the path to recovery from emotionally abusive relationships with narcissists, sociopaths, and other toxic people. And I'm referencing again Jackson MacKenzie's book, which I will interject my own thoughts as well as his. I will begin with what he states regarding the path to recovery. Why does it take so long? Breakups with abusive people are much different from breakups with normal, healthy human beings. Relationships with these toxic people take an unusually long time to recover from. Healing from psychopathic abuse is a long journey. It's neither linear nor logical. You can expect to swing back and forth between stages, perhaps even inventing a few of your own along the way. It's unlike the traditional stages of grief because you have not truly lost anything. Instead, you have gained everything, you just don't know it yet. Those who survive many times find themselves very frustrated because they have not healed as quickly as they would like to. They also end up dealing with their friends and other professionals who give them their well-intentioned advice and just say, honey, it's just time for you to move on. And whether you were in a long-term marriage or a quick summer fling, the recovery process will be the same when it comes to dealing with a cluster B, psychopathic, sociopathic, whatever character. Now, Jackson tells us it takes 12 to 24 months to get your heart back in a good place. And even then, you may have tough days. I personally think you can't really put a timeline on this type of thing because it could be shorter or it could be longer. And he, of course, tells us don't set a deadline for yourself. With time, you'll begin to find moments of happiness, contentment, and hope. These moments will become stronger and more frequent as long as you're participating in no contact with the monster. And this creature that you were involved with will eventually just vanish away into obscurity, and it won't even seem like the person was real, which in effect it really wasn't real. It was real for you for that moment when it was doing its thing to try to capture you into its labyrinth. But aside from that, it's all phony. So, for example, if it's been 5 years and you run into this person on the street somewhere, it's not going to be anything like the person you knew back when you knew it. It's completely changed. But you'll eventually not be able to believe that you were ever caught up in such a frenzied panic, hooked in by someone who mirrored your personality and then triangulated you against other people. Your heart and mind have better things to focus on, namely your own self-respect and your own happiness. No matter how long it takes, don't worry that you've been permanently injured by this person. Your empathetic spirit doesn't ever die. It's always there with you, and it will return in a new and beautiful form when it's ready. There'll be ups, there'll be downs, but you are on a path to freedom, which will last a lifetime. The important thing here is to stop blaming yourself. Stop wishing it would go faster. Stop thinking that this creature somehow wins if you're still hurting. This monster is out of the picture now, so the journey now is about you. If you come to peace with the extended timeline, you'll find this experience a lot more pleasant. You can settle in, make some friends, get cozy with this whole recovery thing. So again, why is this taking so long? Well, Jackson gives us a list, which I pretty much agree with. The first one on the list is, well, the reason it takes so long, one reason is you were in love. Yes, it was a manufactured, fictitious love, but you were in love. And yes, your personality had been mirrored, your dreams manipulated, but you were in love. And they tell us that, well, he says it too, love is the strongest emotion and the strongest bond in this world. And you felt it with all of your heart. It's always painful to lose someone that you loved. Somebody, for example, you had planned to be with for the rest of your life. The human spirit must heal from these losses of love, regardless of your abuser's intentions. The love that you felt was still very real. It was authentic. And it will take a long time and a lot of hope to pull yourself out of the standard post-breakup depression. The next thing he covers is you were in desperate love. And this is where he differentiates as far as abandoning regular breakups. When you're dealing with the Cluster B monsters breakup, these monsters manufacture desperation and desire. He says you probably worked harder for this particular relationship than any other one, right? You put more time, energy, and thoughts into it than ever before. And in turn, you were rewarded with the nastiest, most painful experience of your life. Great! In the idealization phase, you were showered with attention, gifts, daily texts every hour, every minute, compliments. This person actually pretended to be exactly like you in every way. Everything you did was just 100% perfect to this person. This made you feel elated, unaware that they were preparing you for the identity erosion. You began to pick up on little hints here and there that you might be replaced at any time, which encouraged your thoughts to be racing, like mine are all the time, but your thoughts were racing around, and this ensured the person was on your mind every second of the day. This unhinged, unpredictable lifestyle is what this creature hopes to create with their gaslighting, with their lies, and their triangulation. By keeping them on your mind at all times, you fell into this state of what he calls desperate love, which of course is unhealthy, and it's not a sign that the person you feel so strongly about is actually even worthy of your love. Your mind, though, seems to convince you that if you feel so strongly about this person, well then this must be the person, the only person who will ever make you feel this way. And when you lose such a person, your world can fall apart completely. And then you enter the state of panic and a state of devastation. The next part is the chemical reaction. These cluster B creatures have intense emotional and sexual bonds with their targets. These are due to their sexual magnetism and the way they train their victims' minds to become reliant upon their approval. After they've first adored you in every single way, you eventually let your guard down and begin to place your sense of self-worth into them. Your happiness started to depend on their opinion of you. Happiness is a chemical reaction going off in that brain of yours, dopamine and receptors firing off to make you feel good. Like a drug, the psychopath / whoever offers you this feeling in full force at the beginning. But once you become reliant upon it, they begin to pull back. Isn't that sweet of them? Slowly, you need more and more to feel the same high. You do everything you can to hang on to it, while they're doing everything in their power to keep you starving for their attention, love, and approval. Next would be inferiority and comparison. There are thousands of support groups for survivors of infidelity. Infidelity leaves long-lasting insecurities and feelings of never being good enough. It leaves you constantly comparing yourself to other people. This kind of pain alone can take many years to recover from. Now, compare this to the creature's triangulation. Not only did this person cheat on you, they happily waved it in your face. They bragged about it, trying to prove just how happy they are with your replacement, which is sick. They carry none of the usual shame or guilt that comes with cheating. They are thrilled to be posting pictures online of them smiling with their new whatever and telling their friends just how happy they are. Now, Mr. MacKenzie tells us that he cannot even begin to explain how emotionally damaging this all can be to someone who's been a target of a psychopath or any of the others' idealization. And the triangulation alone will take so much time to heal from. Well, next is you have encountered pure evil. Everything you once understood about other people just did not seem to apply to this particular person. During your relationship, you tried to be compassionate, easygoing, and forgiving. You never could have known that the person you were falling in love with was actively using these things against you. Most people would never suspect such a thing. It wouldn't make any sense. And so you spent your time projecting a normal human conscience onto this creature, trying to explain away their inexplicable behavior. But once you discover psychopathy, sociopathy, or narcissism, everything starts to change. You begin to feel disgusted, horrified that you let this darkness into your life. Everything clicks and falls into place. All of the accidental or insensitive behavior finally makes sense. You try to explain this to your friends or family, though, and nobody seems to get it. That's why validation matters. When you meet with others who have been through similar situations, you will finally realize that you're really not crazy, batty, whatever. It's just you were put through a specific chain of events that this monster orchestrated for you. And you're also not alone in this inhuman experience. But it does take a lot of time to come to terms with this personality disorder. You'll end up having to let go of your past understanding of human nature. You'll have to build it back up from scratch. You realize that people are not always inherently good. You begin to feel paranoid, hypervigilant, and anxious. The healing process is about learning to balance this new state of awareness with your once trusting spirit. Now, the last part of this would be your spirit is deeply wounded. After the inevitable abandonment of these monsters, most survivors end up feeling a strong sense of emptiness that cannot be described as depression. It's like your spirit has just gone away. You feel numb to everything and everyone around you. The things that once made you happy just leave you cold. You worry that your encounter with this monster, hey, he used my word, I'm paraphrasing a lot of times when I say monster, but he's saying it. You worry that your encounter with this monster has destroyed your ability to empathize, feel, and care. I believe, or he believes, well, I do too, that this is what takes the longest time to recover from. It feels hopeless at first, but your spirit's always with you. Wounded for sure, but never gone. As you begin to discover self-respect and boundaries, it slowly starts to find its voice again. You'll start to eventually, it'll feel safe opening up, peeking out sporadically just to say hello. You will find yourself grateful to be crying again, happy that your emotions seem to be returning. This is great, and it will start to become more and more consistent. Ultimately, you will leave this experience with an unexpected wisdom about people around you. Your spirit will return stronger than ever, refusing to be treated that way again. You may encounter toxic people throughout your life, but you won't let them stay around for very long now. You don't have time for mind games and manipulation. You seek out kind, honest, and compassionate people. You know you deserve nothing less. This newfound strength is the greatest gift of the psychopathic experience, and it's worth every second of the recovery process because it will serve you for the rest of your life.
Hi, this is Confession of the Narcopath.
Well, I hope you're proud of yourself. Thanks a lot for telling my new boyfriend that I was a whore. That's none of your business. It's not your place to tell him anything. But you know what? Thanks. You did me a favor. Because one of my customers told me he loves me. So you can get together with my ex-boyfriend and you can be a fag and kiss him. Ah!
Scammer.
I know we've been living together in our apartment for the first few years of our relationship. And because of my circumstances, I wasn't exactly fertile. I was still a man. I knew that whenever you were busy at work, I was out having sex with the whole city. It got to a point where I started to realize that if you were to find out about that, I might lose my room and board. So I had to do the next best thing. You see, I remember when we moved into our house together, how you'd suggested we got a dog. And what did I say? I said, oh, we're not home enough to have a dog. What are you talking about? It started to occur to me, what would happen if you happened to find out what I was doing behind your back? Plus, I knew that you had feelings and emotions for dogs, which I think are disgusting. I don't do poop. But I had to deal with the situation. I told you to come with me to the mall so we could go look at these darling dogs. I could tell that you were perplexed and wondering what I was talking about, but you're not going to know my plans ever. I took you to that pet store, thinking that you would fall for these mongrel creatures. And sure enough, you thought they were the cutest thing ever, and since I couldn't produce children, which, if I could, I would, but wasn't an option. Sorry, they haven't come up with a solution to that yet. And the elite. So, we dealt with the next best thing, and I tricked you. You buy one dog, I'll buy the other dog, and we'll have a happy family. And you did it! So, that was my ticket. That was the glue that would hold our family together, because I knew if we had 2 dogs, one yours, one mine, and you happened to figure out what I was up to, well, we'd have to work it out, because we couldn't split those 2 dogs up now, could we? I don't think, well, I could. I'd get rid of both, but I don't think you would, because I could tell how much you loved them. Deal with it.
I'm not going to talk to you anymore from now on. Have a nice life. You two should be happy together.